What's up, what's up, what's up? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to the highest breaking community on YouTube. Hope you guys are all doing well. Top of the morning to you, laddies! What's good, everybody? Yo, what's up? Good morning, or good afternoon, depending where you are, or good evening, depending where you are. How's everybody doing? On this fine, what day is it today? I don't even know anymore. Sunday. Of course it's Sunday. I only live stream Sundays. Still don't know what day it is. Story of my life. If I'm not teaching or working, my scheduling is completely out of the window. What's up, Italy? Italy's beautiful. Whereabouts in Italy are you from? I'm pretty good. Doing well, my friend. Just a little bit of a morning stream. What's up, Arizona? How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? New faces, new faces. Hope you're doing well. Just gonna slowly get into things today, as always. Where's my music at? Higher flare waist exercise. Are you doing the one from my video? If you've seen my flare tutorial, that's still the one that I use. It's just this one. You need to be training this all the way up here. Big genitals and face for today, everybody. What a great angle, hey? Lovely angle. Oh shoot, I forgot to tell everyone I'm live on the Facebook group. I'm still here, just phoning for a second. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Have I done a head swipe tutorial or tips? I haven't. I've done in my back tap tutorial, if you've seen that, I have a little bit of like the base of it, which is just from your back to your headstand. So that's the basic head track. That is the most I've done from it. So if you've seen that, that's kind of the best place to start. Where's my sound? Oh, too many beads. Too many beads. There we go. That's better. Morning back stretches are the best. I tell you, the best. It's very kind of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do what I can. I saw that was amazing, but I was curious about doing continuously from chair. Yeah. So the best way to do it continuously is start with one side chair, right? And then walk over to a head bridge and then walk back to a chair. And then just keep with that motion first. And then when you have that, you want to start doing the one leg ones, which is that same swipe motion. And then just try going around into a stab first. So you're doing the one leg kick, up, around, stab. One leg kick, up, around, stab. And every time you stab, keep rotating to your chair. And then that's always what you want to be taking off from. You want to take off from your chair, whipping through your chest, head bridge, over, stab. It's a simple concept. It's not the most simple to execute though. So I can definitely do a more in-depth tutorial on it at some point if you're wanting it. Balance. Amazing balance. Okay, I was trying to take control of bridge with one leg because with two it's pretty easy for me right now, but it's hard to kick and swipe one leg. Yeah, definitely. No, dude, I got you. So think about kicking with your one leg diagonal. So don't think just kicking straight up. Think of kicking up and diagonal. So you want to go at that. If this is centered, you're facing the ceiling, you want to kick right here. So if you're going counterclockwise, which is this way over your right shoulder, you want to kick your right leg like this, diagonal line. And then as you're doing that, your arms need to be whipping through your chest, obviously. If you can get around whipping to here, same way if you did my back tap tutorial and you saw how I went straight up and then to my headstand, if you can do that, it's the same thing, just taking off from one leg. What you're doing on the back too, it's just a little bit higher. But all you gotta do is from a chair, the exact same head swipe motion, just as I said, from a chair. If you can do that, you got it, no problem. So I'd really make sure you have that mastered first, the basic head track from your back to stab, and then from to headstand. And then if you can do that, then just same thing from a chair. Kind of make a tutorial on air chair to head drill. I can't do air chair to head drill, so I don't think I'd give a very good tutorial on that. So if it's really uncomfortable in your bridge, that means you need to work on your bridge first. So try to master your bridge first, and then from there you'll get the move a lot easier because it requires a huge bridge motion, right? You know what I mean? Try flare halo. I'm still healing up my left hip flexor, so I can't do any power currently, unfortunately. but I'm working on it. What's up, God's Killer? Good morning, bro. 1 to 10 step, 10, 10. Also, is it... Okay, I need to get actually focused. The video footwork steps 1 to 10, 10/10. Also, is it normal in my swipe? My foot is super diagonal, the one in the floor. I'm not completely sure what you mean as for the footwork stuff, but dope. Is it normal in my swipe? My foot is super diagonal, the one in the floor. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's fine. As long as you don't want it completely sideways, you don't want it completely straight. Like a nice diagonal is fine. I don't know what your definition of super diagonal is. You kind of want it like, if this is straight, you want it like here, if that makes sense. So, if this is, one sec. If this is straight, you want it like here is fine. Don't go like here, and don't go like here. Go like either here straight or like that. If that makes sense. Yeah, true. Post it on Facebook, on the group. That'll be a lot easier to help you from there. Hey, there you go, Devo. Get it. Power for days, boy! I don't remember what I was doing now. God's Killer, which one? If this one, if this is one, this is two. Do you go 1 or 2? Which one? Which way? This way, this way. 1? I see what you're saying now. Do you find this like hugely impacting your swipes, like the garbage because of it, or are you just curious? Because if it's not really impacting your swipe, I wouldn't worry about it. But if you feel like it's an issue for your swipe, then I would adjust it. I would go back to the basic. So if this is for, did you say this is for a 1-leg swipe or 2-leg? I can't take it to handstand because of that. Yeah, because you're so twisted this way that you're like rotating so much to that direction that's killing your power. So I would suggest going back. Are you comfortable with 2-leg swipes too, or no? Is it only 1 leg that you know how to do? Like, what's your foundation for swipe? 1 or 2 leg? I can have 2. So I would go to 2 and see if you have the same issue. And then try to adjust it in 2 and then bring it back. Also, something you can do, how I usually teach swipes is I start people like this low, super low. So I would say go back to like baby swipes like this. You know what I mean? Down here, and then slowly raise it back up as your foot adjusts back to where you want to be. Because if you go on that extreme, also, are you starting it from like a monkey swing or a power starter, or are you starting it from just like a stationary position or a stagnant position? Because if you're starting from a stagnant position, then it should be pretty easy to, yeah, so that's what I thought. So because you're doing it from a monkey, that means you're riding the momentum of it versus doing the form of it, which is why you're monkeying, your landing leg is going completely with the momentum. So how to stop that is I say start it from like a stationary position. Try starting just from here, okay? Don't start from the monkey sweep and see if you can do one. If you can't do one from a simple monkey sweep, obviously 2-leg, I'm not saying start here with 1 leg off the ground. Start here, do 2 and land and see if you can kind of do one. If you can kind of do one, then train it from there. If you can't do it from there, bro, that's a good sign that you're just riding the momentum from the monkey sweep, and you're not actually controlling the move, which is where you'd want to start from the base position. That's why I usually teach people from there first before adding the actual power sweep into it, because there's no point in the power sweep if you've got bad form, if that makes sense. Handcuff mill tips. I can't do handcuff mills, so I can't help you with that, but studies. Yeah, Godskiller, you got it. Just keep going, and you'll get there. Create a tutorial on freeze combos. Yeah, dude, I can do that. What kind of combos? What's up, Brazil? Like stacking? Have you seen my my stack tutorials that I've already done? Sid Hearth, or Sid, if I may call you that, because of my white boy lingo. Sid, you've seen the first two? So what do you want to stack from? Because the first one I've done, the first ones I've done have covered the base. Crazy, I'm not sure. Clip footwork combo? What do you mean? The elbow chair freeze. Oliver, you asking for more advice on that? What's up, Paulin? I believe. Oliver, I'm not sure what you're asking, bro. Yeah, Oliver, I can for sure. What were we doing now again? Elbow chair freeze. Elbow chair freeze. Which one's the elbow chair freeze? I'm not talking about this, right? I don't even remember it. Too many moves. I don't remember doing an elbow chair freeze. Did I do an elbow chair freeze? I did an elbow baby freeze. Don't remember elbow chair freeze. Maybe I'm tripping out. Let's talk about shoulder. Are you talking about shoulder air chair, Oliver? Any tips for balancing musicality and doing sets? I struggle with that at the moment. Yes. Train your sets to as many different types of music as possible and keep adjusting your set depending on the music. So let's say the beat's like a super fast one, do it quicker. If the set is slower, do it slower. If it suddenly slows down in the middle of it, slow down. Sacrifice your moves for the musicality, always, 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 always. I know it's harder said than done because you're like, oh, if I stop my set, then I have nothing. But stop it and hit the beat always. No worries, God's killer. Go kill those street shows, make that money. So Oliver, it's really not hard. All you gotta do is do a shoulder like this, then get your feet here and start walking it up. See? That's all it is. And then you can, from here, do whatever you want. You know what I mean? So elbow underneath your body, then have your ribs or obliques touching it, like that. Sit down on it, then just bring your hips up, like that. That's all you need to do. And then from there, you can really change it up however you want. No worries, burn meat. Hope that helps. If you can't hold air chair, then all you gotta do is get your side chair better. And then train it with, hold on to something. So I grab a chair. Yeah, so there's multiple tips and exercises. All right, one sec. I'll get a chair, I'll show you. So, first one is here, feet down, walking up, coming down, like that. Just doing that one. You can also do it one-handed if your chair is good enough for that. Then grab a chair. Or something. And train it like this. Here, grab the chair, and then just balance. Here, and then go up, more, etc. So I just literally holding that for as long as you can is basically the best exercise I think for air chairs. So that's where I would go with it. Homie. Yeah, Oliver, it's really easy. It just seems harder than it is. But once you understand that it's just the elbow underneath your body and twisting your hips up, it's like, well, that was easy. to know how to do their baby spins. Again, you have to be a little bit more precise on what you mean, because baby spins could be like a lot of different moves. I need more strength to hold freezes better. What do you think? I think you should be doing your basic freezes as much as you can, holding for as long as you can. Always that's the first place to start. Then from there, if you want more actual like breaking conditioning exercises to gain strength, you should be looking at my B-boy conditioning I have on the channel, Crowna or Dub. I don't know if you've seen those, but if you've watched those, that's another great place to start. And then also, I would recommend using freezes and holding freezes, but in like more easeful positions. So for instance, have a handstand, but go against the wall. And hold a handstand on a wall every day for as long as you can. Okay? So like literally as much as you can. And then same thing with like most freezes. Okay? Same with like a headstand. Every freeze will build your strength up. Just train it with like a support system around it. So for instance, like training wheels on a bike, you have them to help you do the move longer or ride the bike without falling. So same thing, do a headstand on a wall, handstand on a wall. More of your other freezes are a little bit harder, but if you're doing something more advanced like air chairs and stuff, again, grab something. The easier you can make the move so that you can hold it longer, the better. Do you have to be fit to do ground power moves? Just fit enough to hold your own body weight. That's all. Kumar, my hip's still injured, so I'm not doing any power currently until I heal it. At least nothing that requires a kicking motion. And I'm not able to do nice halos yet, so can't really help you with that. What do you think is an ideal duration for a training? I think it all depends on the person. Some people can train for like hours and hours and hours, some only a little bit. I think the ideal is to be training to where, oh my goodness, that hurts, to where you can progress as much as possible. So for instance, if within a 15-minute practice, you can, sorry, one sec, guys, hold on. So for instance, if, I lost my train of thought. If you can, my train of thought. So training, ideal training. So basically what you want to be doing is progressing each practice on whatever you want to do, and also pushing your body as much as you can in the moment. So for me, I found that sometimes a 15-minute practice, for instance, is enough to progress one thing, right? So maybe choose 3 to 5 moves or as many as you can, and then push them. It also depends what your goal is. But for me, I think it's best to usually do, I found the sweet spot was like between like, probably like, I'd say an hour of like hard training, and then like have a warm up and a stretch and conditioning all within that 2 hours. So think like a 2-hour set is usually the best, but then adding in like your actual training, hardcore training, I'd say like an hour, and then build the rest around that. But again, it all depends on the person. I need to work on my flexibility too. I can only hold an air chair with a yoga ball. Yeah, dude, it's hard. My flexibility for air chairs is bad too. It just comes down to the amount of time you're spending conditioning the flexibility for it. If you learn foundation moves, can that transition to power moves? 100%. That's the way to do it, in my opinion. Is I think the key to 95% of power moves is having the foundation for the power move really good, and then the last 5% is literally just throwing it. But if you have, it's just 95% of us don't have the good foundation, you know, because it's not fun to get the foundation. No, not many people love training like a static move that's just boring over and over again. You want to do the exciting move. But if you get the static move or the drill really good, then it's going to be super easy to transition that into the power move, if that makes sense. Exercise for the windmill, all of them are in my 2-minute windmill tutorial. If you watch my 2-minute windmill tutorial, it every exercise everything that I do before I do the actual windmill is the exercise you should be doing for windmills, if that makes sense. What's up, notes? One question, tips on how to not get blackout when dancing in public or circles. Okay, so you like not blanking out. Sets, combos, like that's kind of the answer I have and use because it's what I do, right? Like I'm not a freestyle b-boy. I don't freestyle majority of my stuff. Nowhere's Oliver, take care. I do all sets and combos. So muscle memory basically is the one to do it. I would freestyle like sections and then I would always go back to the muscle memory of it. If you have the muscle memory of your set down pat, like I could show you a set right now while having a conversation with you because I have it that in my body. You know what I mean? So that's the way you're not even thinking to do it, which is how you can like hit beats and adjust it to the music. And so it comes down to training a set or combination like over and over and over again until it's really easy for you to do. And then you have it not blank out, if that makes sense, or black out. No worries, Sid. My pleasure, M4. Or Matthias, if that's what it stands for. Right now I'm focusing on doing ciphers during practice, but I've thought that drilling is the way to go. Thoughts on that? Yes, drilling is the way to go in my opinion. To not, oh, sorry. I'm mixing up answers right here. 1 second. Where are we? Right now I'm focusing on doing ciphers during practice, but I've heard that drilling is the way to go. Thoughts on that? Well, it depends on what your goals are, right? If you want to be a dope cipher cat and just be really good at throwing down, then I would recommend ciphering a lot. If you want to be really good at certain moves, you need to drill them. And if you want to mix it up, then you can drill them also in the ciphers, right? Do you think watching documentaries of hip-hop history, b-boy and culture is necessary? I think it's helpful. I think a certain amount of it is necessary, but I don't think it's like gonna make or break you. But I think it's definitely helpful. And it all depends what you're doing. For someone like me as a teacher, I think it's necessary. For someone that just wants to be like the best in the world, I don't think it's necessary, but I would recommend it. And especially, I mean, we all have downtime, or when you're stretching or practicing or whatever, I think it's important to know where your moves come from. And also it gives you insights into knowledge for not only training, but for different moves. And usually in hip hop old school documentaries, you're gonna see a style of movement that you don't necessarily see today. So I think it opens doors for your training to progress. So, I mean, if you wanna be better, then do everything you can to get better, right? And doing mental and visual practice is a part of that. So if you're not training and you can still improve by gaining knowledge, then you usually want to do that, right? So that's kind of where I sit with it, but I definitely don't think it's like a mandatory thing, if that makes sense. Air chairs are such difficult to me. Any tips? Yeah, Mohammed, I kind of just went over them. Have a really strong side chair and train it with a chair or something first and really get the flexibility of it down first. And then if you get that solid, then everything else in the air chair will get a lot easier. Do you like to use mirrors to train breaking? Yes, Kevin, I do. I think it's helpful. And if you have access, One thing my teachers taught me growing up was that if you've got access to something, abuse it. So if you have mirrors, use them. If you don't, then don't, obviously, but don't hold yourself back if you don't have to, if that makes sense. So if you don't have to train without mirrors, then train with mirrors. And if you have to train with mirrors, train with mirrors. And if you have to not train with mirrors, then don't train with mirrors. But if you're in an environment where that has mirrors, I think it's helpful to train with mirrors, because I've personally created a lot of moves through visually looking at the move while I'm doing it, especially for like ground stuff like footwork or threading. I've created a lot through actually visually looking at what it looks like and then kind of looking for more angles and spots to take advantage of. I'm 21 this year. Do you think it's too late for me to start breaking as a career? No, I mean, it depends what your definition of a career is. If you want to pay you, I think it shouldn't be your main thing yet, because as anything, you have to build up the skills first, right? So I was breaking for like 6 or 7 years before breaking started really paying me, you know? And then it became my career after I put in the schooling or educational process, right? Or paying your dues, if you may. But at the same time, if you go hard, you can have something pay you within a year or two or a couple months, right? It depends how nifty you are, but I don't think breaking for the average person, check out the ambulances, is the like most stable career by any means. But how loud is that for you guys? But if it's what you want to do it. I definitely don't think an age ever decides what you can do. In 2019, oh my goodness, fire trucks, baby. Yeah, if you're smart, and by smart I mean literally just use the internet, anything can pay you. Because even if you're like a 60-year-old, if you market yourself as like 60-year-old breakdance progression, blah blah blah, whatever journey, right? And you just were an entertaining person and just did like a 60-year-old YouTube channel or whatever, then like I think that could be a career, right? Because we have the internet. So as long as you are smart, anything can really pay you. You just have to be smart with it. No worries, Prana. What is your favorite music to dance to? It depends what mood I'm in. So if I want to go hard, I want music that gives, basically, long story short with music, I want something that's going to give me energy to do the movement I want to do. So for instance, as you hear right now, it's like chill hop, right? It's super like chill and vibey. And that helps me get into the right mindset to be focused on like conditioning and more strength-based movements. Not so much strength-based, but like slow control, because I want to have like patient control right now. So that's why I have this kind of music on right now. And it's also not too distracting for the live stream. And then if I want to have something like hype, like I want to go off, then I want something that gives me a lot of energy. So for instance, it could be anything from like a hype break beat to like a Kanye West song, you know, or to some like crazy dub. Like it doesn't really matter to me as long as it gives me energy to do the movement I want to do. Same with top rock. If I want to do like creative top rock, I want something funky. If I want to do groovy top rock, I want something funky. If I want to do like step creation, I want something again that I can focus in on. So maybe a bit more chill. So again, I think music depends all on whatever movement you want to do with it. So whatever helps with that movement is my long answer. How do you feel about that business aspect of breaking, like doing shows and managing growth and decline? I think the stigma with breaking and business is that so many people are like, breaking is hip hop and culture and da da da, and to be real, you gotta kind of have this like broke hustle mentality, which is hard because as soon as you try doing business stuff, there's gonna be a lot of people that are not so much for you because they think you're selling out instantly. That's how artists are. If you're not being true, quote unquote, to the art form, or you're making money off of it, you're suddenly a sellout, right? So I think that's the hardest hurdle to get around with business and breaking. Same with any art form. So if you can get past that, then I think it's just there's copious amounts of opportunity within breaking for career, because all it takes is being creative with some kind of product, and you are your product. So whether that's a show, whether that's and by show it could be like a physical show, it could be a more talking show, it could be like an inspirational show, it could be simply a b-boy show, it could also be like an interact. There's so many options because it's such a new art form still. And same as far as teaching goes, there's huge opportunity for that. And then as far as online goes, also huge opportunity for it. So, and then if you want to go into like movie and actual that kind of business, or background dance and stuff, like, or tricks or circus delay or big shows, like there's lots of stuff. And I think it's still a very untouched market. So that's kind of my thoughts and 2 cents about it. I think there's lots of opportunity into it, but you have to be willing to hustle and be crafty with it, because it's not just going to be like handed to you. Probably, at least to 95% of us, if that makes sense. How to be smarter than you. It's not hard. I'm not that smart. It all depends on what your definition of smart is, dog. Then just do more of me than whatever I'm doing in that art form or smart form. I can't go from my back to a stab position to do some windmills. Can you help me? So Gabriel, watch my back tap tutorial, and I have a drill in that where I go from my back to a headstand, also to a stab, and it's called a head track. If you can go and do that, that's going to be the best help I can give you, because it's understanding how to go from your back to a head bridge, rotate to a stab. Figure out that first. Once you can get that, it's not going to be that hard for you. I wish you just never helped. Stop helping us because I really benefit from this. Thanks, dog. I tried, Mohammed, but your boy's gotta live too. So that's why I want to do more and more, but until I can make like suitable income from this, then I have to watch how much I invest into it, because I need to keep paying my bills, right? And right now YouTube's not really exactly paying my bills, but trust, I want to do as much as I can as well. I'm getting water, guys. I'll be right back. Water break! Good stream today. Good stream. Feeling good. Strong and healthy. You know what? Oh, it's not in my car. I just got gymnastic rings. I'm not sure if you guys saw that. If anyone follows my IG, but I was gonna bring them up and try and do ring stuff on them, like ring push-ups. But anyways, they're not here, so it's okay. Let's see if I can do this while reading. Thanks from actually from Brazil, and I'm a big fan of yours. What's up, Brazil? I know I seem to have a decent following from Brazil. It's really cool. I wonder why that is. But I appreciate all y'all. You guys have shown me nothing but respect. So much love. Oh, this is hard. I love dancing, like popping, tutting, locking, house dance, breaking to dubstep. What got you into dancing? So what got me? Let me know if you guys like stop hearing me. I want to do this while I'm talking. So I'm gonna turn this down too. So what got me into dancing was my brother. He started breaking first, and I just wanted to do whatever he did, right? As brothers tend to do. So I want to, as I said, just do what he did. So I like made him teach me my first coffee grinder in my house. So this was like 11 years ago or whatever, or 12 years. And then from there, I took classes from the same instructor that he took classes from. And then after that, I just stayed with it, you know? Before that, I did do some like garbage choreography classes from a community center, but that was not helpful really. That just got me in the door, if that makes sense. So in a nutshell, that's what got me into breaking, was him. Thanks, bro. B-Boy Rune from Egypt. What's up, Egypt? Yo, other side of the world. What's up, friends? Do you have a favorite footwork step? I have multiple favorite footwork steps. 10-step, CCs, 6-step. CCs is probably one of my favorite, to be honest. Then 10-step I really like too. Rapid fire kickouts I like a lot. Basically any move that I can do fast or add an illusion into it, I like a lot, if that makes sense. So yeah, steps like that. In your opinion, what is flow and breaking? Franz, have you seen the Art of Flow tutorial? Because that is basically my definition of what flow is. What's up, Russia? Oh yeah, Z step I love too. By the way, thanks for putting the Z step in your underused footwork steps. It's one of my faves. Yeah, dude. I don't know why people don't use it. There's so many steps. I mean, I guess it's only so many people can use, but there's so many things that people don't use. That's why I started underused. What do you call it? Collection? I don't know. But format, I guess, is a better way to put it. That's why I started the whole format, because I feel like there's so many steps and moves that people just don't use and they overlook. And so I just want to kind of like try and bring back and showcase moves that people aren't really looking at. And Z step is one of those that I have seen so little people use. And Red openly teaches it as a foundation. So I'm like, why not have more people that know of it, right? Because that's what evolution is. The more that we can like test our foundation, the higher level us as a whole is going to become, you know what I mean? Because if we keep progressing our foundation, our bar, what is standard, is going to keep raising and raising and raising, you know? And I think that's one of the best ways to like progress as a community, right? So I think a lot of people may think that I do that for like, I don't know, like clickbait purposes or just like silly stuff. But like the bigger reality is I want foundation to like grow and to just level up as a whole. And I think, again, if we have a foundation that keeps building and growing bigger and bigger and better and stronger, then our base is just gonna flourish, you know? Thanks for your help. What do you think is the best way to get from top rock into footwork? I don't think there is a best way. I think the best way is whatever you feel freshest doing, you know? It's always the answer, right? I don't say there's one singular answer to that. I would just say a different way every single round. So every single time you get to the ground, make it different than the last. That makes sense. Do you play B-Boy on PS2? I don't have a PS2. Who is your inspiration in breaking? Many. I said this question before, and I think it's derived down to whatever. I'm inspired by different people for different reasons, if that makes sense. So, for instance, Casper is my inspiration for energy. Zeshin, B-Boy Zeshin, is my inspiration for footwork creativity. Then there's like Storm, Alien S, Casper again for like footwork speed. And then like Phil for up and coming rawness. Just like he inspires me a lot of how, because about Phil, like he when we started breaking, and then especially when he first started hitting like famedom, if you want to call it that, he was always sets. It would always be sets, and he was always too nervous to really let himself go. And he's finally in a place now where I see him like really letting himself go and being his raw self, and having fun with it, like a lot of fun with it. And I think seeing that progression has inspired me a lot. So stuff like that. And then who else? There's so many, bro. Like Kid David for Musicality is one of my inspirations for that. Probably Junior for like strength and control. Nagin for movement purposes. Like the way he moves is just sick. It's so sick. Also, Bboys from Brazil for just like battle and like direction change and rawness and like, I mean, again, like the list goes on, you know. I have lots of inspirations for different things, if that makes sense. Anyways, I could talk about that forever, guys. How about storytelling and breaking? I'm still confused. France, were you that one? Storytelling and breaking. Sorry, what was that? The base of that question? Was there more behind that, or just or are you just talking about within your own style with storytelling, like what talks about? Is that kind of what you're referring to, friends? What is your routine of conditioning, like strength, cardio, and flexibility training? Do you lift? Do you just body weights or stuff? So Philip, it's a lot, and I think that's the answer that I have that I think most people overlook is that. Oh, sorry, one sec, guys. My thing's going to the back on. Okay, I just restarted it. So Philip, I think the best answer to that is it should always be what's the correct wording here? It should always be like an accent of your training. So your conditioning, strength, and flexibility should be focused towards what you're core movement-wise. So for me, my goal right now is heal my hip, get more mobile, and get stronger. So I'm doing ring training in the park for my strength. And then I'm doing all my hip conditioning. Take care, Dub. Thanks for stopping by. And then I do like lots of work on my hip and everything. And then I'm doing as much mobility work as I can to progress my mobility as a whole. And then as far as cardio goes, I get more cardio teaching. Because teaching, I have to demonstrate and warm up and do stuff over and over and over again all day long. So cardio is never an issue for me. It's always actually like eating more because I burn so much, if that makes sense. So Philip, I would base your conditioning, strength, flexibility, etc., off of whatever your goals are. So let's say you want to get like a power move, then you should be doing all your conditioning, flexibility, strength, etc., all outside of training, like actually breaking, doing the move, to benefit that movement. Does that make sense? And then also, as far as flexibility goes and stretching, I think the more you can stretch, the better in your all the time daily life. So hence why you see me, it's like I'm not sitting in a chair talking to you guys. I'm on the ground, I'm moving around, I'm staying agile, I'm doing different things, because I think if the more mobile we stay as a human, like the more we can just move, period. Because if your base, like for instance, let's say your flexibility is like here, okay? Let's say you're super stiff, this is how far you can go. But if you always sit like this, it's gonna get lower and lower naturally, because you can't sit in pain for hours and hours. Like your body won't be able to, right? But if this is relaxing, you can naturally sit here. Do you know what I mean? So I think as far as daily conditioning goes, you should be thinking about your all the time versus training time. So just your training time is more so focused towards like the actual moves that you want to get and things. But outside of training, always think about what you could be doing in the moment to benefit you. So for instance, I'm always like say I'm sitting down editing, I'm like, oh man, I should be lying down like this because that's gonna help my training. Or I could be over here, or I could be stretching while I'm doing that. Like you always think about it that way, then it'll always keep leveling up your training, and it'll be easier every time you go back to training, because you're not gonna be stiff or injured or whatever. Your body's gonna be more prepared for the movement that you want to do. Do you get annoyed when you're battling and your opponent is all in your face and being unsportsmanlike? I mean, I think it can be hard for, but I haven't experienced too much of that, to be honest. Luckily. So for me, I just kind of look to my inspirations and I see how they would handle it. And a lot of the time, that's just, if someone's being dumb, show them how dumb they're being by the humble way of doing it. So let's say a guy's in your face, being silly, smoke them, then do like one or two things to show him how silly he's being, but not just him, show the whole audience. Because if you can show the whole audience just how stupid he was being in a humble way, you're gonna win everyone around you. Does that make sense? So whenever people are being like that, they're doing it because they have a weakness. So if you can exploit that weakness and show it to everybody, they will, like, it'll be the biggest on them you can possibly do, if that makes sense. Do you know B-Boy Zeus Scream from Holland? He's a beast too. Yeah, I off the top of my head, I can't envision Zeus Supreme, but like I have seen his stuff and I know he's crazy, and I definitely know a lot of people around me have talked about him many times. When you see kids training and battling, amazing. I mean, like, that's the best, because that's where it started. So kids training and battling, I think, is what inspires the older generation to train and battle and just be better too, right? Like we always do it full circle, right? For the youth. So I think it's awesome. Thanks for that info. I've been dancing 4 years. I'm breaking 2 years. So it feels like I need to get better at everything at once in order to catch up to training one at a time. Makes sense though. Yeah, Philip. So again, you have to remember, when someone's like a professional athlete, quote unquote, everything they live to benefit their movement or whatever they do, if that makes sense. So it's not just like when people say you living, they mean live. There's people that go to practice a couple times a week and then they go home and they live their lives. And then there's people that live lives to benefit their movement. Does that make sense? So again, everything you can do outside of breaking should be benefiting breaking. What you put in your body, how you sleep, your training outside of breaking, which is your conditioning, everything. Like if you want to progress faster than the other guy, do everything he's not willing to do. Sacrificing social time, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever it may be. You have 24 hours in a day. How can you best invest the 24 into breaking? Not you. Because everyone likes to talk about the 2 hours that you train, or the 3 hours, or the 4, or the 5. What about the other like 20, 22, 19, whatever, that you're not breaking? What are you doing? Does that make sense? So if you want to really progress, you want to look at the whole spectrum, not just a little bit there. Because let's say simply due to flexi, you're a trash breaker. Well, what the heck are you doing the other 20 hours of the day? It should be like doing everything you can to benefit that flexibility. You know what I mean? So that I look at it, and I think that's what I've found out, and that's what I think a lot of people don't talk about and overlook. Do you think that one day break will stop evolving? Only if people do it. As long as there's human beings to do something, it will always evolve. It's our nature. It's our legitimate nature to evolve. Like that's the only way we're here today, right? Human beings are evolving species, or specimen, or whatever you want to call it. Sapiens. There you go. So as long as we are alive or wanting to be alive, we will evolve in some way, shape, or form. There's no way we won't be. We can't. It's literally in our DNA. But there's a reason that we, have sexual organs and want to, make babies and everything. Like it's evolution. It's what we want to do. There's a reason that it feels good. It's because that's what we is naturally designed to do, right? As how we survive. If it was terrible, evolution, humanity wouldn't be what it is today, right? So as we're alive and we're doing something, I don't think it'll ever stop evolving. But if breaking somehow stops being a thing, sure, I could see it stop evolving, but it would take people not actually doing it anymore to stop evolving. If breaking goes to the Olympics, will you participate? I mean, I'm probably not, just simply because I'm not interested in competing anymore. I'm quote unquote retired from competing because I find it more doing this live stream is more exciting, is more fills me up inside as a human being more so than being a battle. So why would I go and try and get the same feeling from a battle when I could just get it from doing an hour live stream in my living room? Doesn't make sense. And there's too negatives in battling for me to line up with doing it when I could do other things that give me the same things. If you want more of in-depth answer, Gabriel, then I would go look at my Why Quit Battling video, and that will help give you the answers. Yes. All right, y'all. On that note, your boy is gonna go eat pretty quick. I once got to my grandpa's. I got in the car to go there. Then when I reached to open the door, there was 8 German Huskies ready to chew my leg, pee my pants. Dude, I don't doubt it. That sounds insane. All right, y'all. Your boy's outro. Have a good day. Thanks for stopping by. It was a blast. If you want to talk more and get more in touch with me, you can join my breaking group called Breaking Made Simple. So, yes. Take care. Much love. Thanks. Peace.